half in the bag. Hey Jay, I just read in the paper that HBO Max canceled the new Batman movie. Is that the one with the Harry Potter kid in it?
No, they canceled the Batgirl movie. The Batman is with Twilight Boy, not Harry Potter Boy.
So the Twilight Boy is gonna be playing Batgirl?
Just forget it. You're confused about the new merger of Warner Media and Discovery Plus, which caused them to either combine or eliminate HBO Max, leading to multiple layoffs and/or cancellations.
What? Remember the old days when you could just turn on your TV and watch TV?
Yeah, now you've got to be an expert in corporate mergers, acquisitions, IP, branding, and quarterly income reports just to know where to watch the new reboot of your favorite 80s sitcom.
So let me get this straight. First there was Warner Brothers, then Warner Media, then Time Warner, which was formerly called AOL Time Warner, which is all owned by AT&T. So Warner Media, which owns HBO, TBS, Cinemax, TNT, etc., is now merged with Discovery Brands, which has HGTV, Food Network, TLC, the ID Channel, A&E, History Channel, Travel Channel, Science Channel, etc. So now do I gotta change the password on my Discovery Plus app? And the password on my HBO Max app?
No, there won't be those apps anymore. They're gonna combine into one app called like Warner Discovery or something, maybe. You'll have to cancel your old accounts and then create a new account on the new app so that you can watch your favorite shows that will then be canceled or junked for tax write-offs by wealthy media executives.
Now wait, do you think I should use my old password or should I make a new one?
Who cares? All I know is that the world's a fucking mess and I hate everything. And now my soup is cold because I've been talking to you.
Hello?
Hey Mike, where do you guys keep your CI3 replacement circuit boards for Magnavox models 89 through 95?
What?
Never mind. I'll just use a replacement board from an old 92 S895 47 Samsung.
What?
Hey, I've been watching movies while I work on VCRs. Have you guys seen Prey?
Prey, what's that?
Every day I pray for death.
Huh?
Prey, it's the new Predator film.
Film?
Oh, no, sorry. I meant the new corporate-owned streaming digital content product that will someday no longer be able to be seen due to a corporate merger, buyout, or acquisition.
What did you say about the Spanish Inquisition?
Oh, sorry, I gotta go. Got a customer. Talk to you later.
Who was that? I have no idea what that man was talking about.
I think that I know. I don't know how I could hear him from way over there, but I could. That's enough talking for today, though. Let's just watch a movie.
Oh, that's a great idea. Let me see here. I got the remote.
Okay.
Oh, looks like it's Hulu.
Is this the new Predator or something?
It looks like Predator based on the font, but it's called Prey. Get out of the way of the screen.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, look, the movie's over. I got kind of like a frog in my throat. You feeling the same way, Jay?
Yeah, a little bit. I got a little bit of the frog.
Maybe a sip from this beer will help me. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. That's much better.
Perked me up a little.
Yeah.
I'm feeling very old.
Well, we watched Prey, and unbeknownst to each other, we both wrote intros for our review. So you know what that means.
Dueling intros! When did we have time to write intros? We just finished watching the movie.
Why do you want to hunt? Because you all think that I can't.
Are we going to have the same intros? Are we going to have the same cynical little dig at society, Jay? Go ahead.
We'll see. Taking place in the 1700s, Native American Aubrey Plaza plays Naru, a young Comanche woman that just wants to hunt. But the men in her tribe just want her to stay in the kitchen and make them a sandwich. But everything changes when a predator comes to Earth and starts hunting all the CGI animals. And then Naru's own tribe. But don't worry, Naru will be just fine at all times.
Girl gets it done. It's a new Predator movie, this time called Prey. From the director of 10 Cloverfield Lane, Dan Trachtenberg brings us this new Predator prequel. It takes place in the 1700s, and the lead is a female Native American now. Great, another remake, gender-swapping piece of propaganda made to appeal to the feminazis and the neo-matriarchy. This anti-male, pro-woke piece of trash has ruined the legacy of Predator films. Wait, no. That was The Predator from 2018. Sorry, I take all that back.
You know, it's funny, both our intros had a little kind of girls get it done joke. And I was looking around a little bit, and there is some of that. Like, it's woke propaganda. Woke is a word that's lost whatever meaning it had is out the window. So there's a little bit of that going around, people complaining about that. But what I was thinking of, more than that, is like, this isn't anything new. This is like 90s Disney animated stuff. That's what the first half of this felt like to me.
Yeah, I mean, it was fairly straightforward, on the nose, a little too, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And first reactions, I really enjoyed it. I don't really have too many complaints, and I actually kind of liked it a lot. But
I give it an A for effort, and maybe a B- or C+ for execution.
Yeah. I mean, your intro poked fun at the CGI animals. I thought they looked rather good until they moved.
The bear especially, like the way he ran was really awkward and weird.
Movements weren't quite right, but you know what? I don't care anymore. I don't care about that stuff.
Yeah, no, as far as like, especially compared to The Predator, to make this so stripped down, so simple, I think people forget what that first movie was.
Yes.
In the wake of like, I don't know, the Alien versus Predator movies and shit.
Right.
The thing I'm trying to figure out, I haven't decided yet, is it too simple? Because if you take away the setting, it is basically the same movie as the first movie.
Well, it's a reboot. Every fiber in my being says I should probably not like this movie, but because I'm sick of like reboots and remakes and all that kind of stuff. But the fact that it's like a Native American girl as her protagonist, when before it was Schwarzenegger, Marine,
All
Commando,
the manliest men.
the manliest men, but the fact that it takes place like so far in the past, in the 1700s, and the ending ties in with Predator 2,
Yeah.
where they handed Danny Glover that old pistol, the flintlock pistol.
Which implies that after the events of this movie, the Predators came back and just murdered everybody,
and
I guess, and took the gun?
They got their gun back somehow.
Somehow.
It was a weird, interesting way to do sequel bait.
Yeah, well, did you notice there was like, over the end credits, there was, like cave drawing backgrounds, and it was telling the events of the movie, but it went on one step further.
Oh.
It showed them at the end, they have the gun, and then another Predator ship comes down, and then it cuts to black. So I think it's a little hint that, but I don't want to see more of this. Like, this movie is fine, but I like that I like it as its own isolated, like this is just another time a Predator came to Earth.
I think I just like weird stuff like this, because you have the Native Americans fighting the Predator versus a bear, Predator versus Native Americans, Predator versus French fur trappers, and it's just like just so out of the element. I read some kind of trash novel in high school, and I don't even remember what it was, but it was like a Civil War regiment, the Union Civil War regiment got scooped up, sucked into a different dimension, where they're on an alien planet, and their Civil War technology that they had with them was superior to this alien war that was going on. They had like cannons and muskets and they were fighting aliens, like the civil. And it was like, that was cool. Like it was like some kind of dime bookstore trash novel, but I was like, this is fun. Like I kind of like the weird juxtapositions and the like the proto Predator. He wasn't quite. He still had some technology. Obviously, you have to have technology if you're landing in a spaceship.
Yeah.
But he was still sort of looked a little different than the one from the modern era.
I don't know. I think I would have liked it. I liked the movie well enough, but it just looked too like clean and slick, and the CG added to that. Like that kind of stuff stands out more in like a period movie. Like if this, they would never do this, but if this was like shot on like 16 millimeter and kind of like grainy,
sure.
It felt more like gritty and raw. But as it is, it's like, and it is a Hollywood movie, so it feels like the slick Hollywood version of what an idea like this could be.
Yeah.
And they compromised on the fact that everybody speaks English, which there is another version. I thought I had read beforehand that they filmed it 2 different ways. Oh. They do a take in English and then a take in Comanche. So I was like, oh, I'm going to watch the Comanche version because I know everyone speaking English is going to drive me nuts.
I've been practicing. It's time. I'm ready for my katamia.
You really think you're ready?
But I had to watch that version because they didn't film it in 2 different ways. The Comanche version that's on Hulu is just dubbed.
Okay.
So and I'm sure they did that because they're like, oh, if everybody speaks English and we don't have an alternate version available, people are going to be upset. People are going to say it's culturally insensitive, blah, 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 blah. And so they were just like, we'll just dub it and we'll have the dub version available to please people that might be upset.
Yeah, I guess.
And the dubbed version, the only way you could watch subtitles, it didn't have just like regular like subtitles. You had to turn on the full closed captioning, so you'd get like sound effects cues and all that stuff. So I had to shut off the Comanche dub version for those reasons, and I watched just the regular English language one.
Well, it's nice they respect the language and bothered to translate it and do all that.
I don't think they respected it so much as they knew if they didn't make that available, people would be angry.
Well,
so they half-assed it.
That comes in the form of casting all actual Native American people in the roles, because that's what was my first thought. You mentioned Aubrey Plaza. I was like, that girl does look a lot like Aubrey Plaza. And then, of course, I looked her up, and she's... She
was on a show with Aubrey Plaza. She's on that show Legion, I guess, which I've never watched.
Yeah, she's done a lot of acting. The brother, that was his first role.
Okay.
His name was Dakota something. Hold on.
David Dakota?
Dakota Beavers. He didn't have any other credits other than this, and he was good.
They were both really good. I thought she was, yeah.
And she was good too.
People can say, I don't know, like Mary Sue or whatever, she's too powerful. I thought they did a good job of establishing that it's not that she's great at everything. She's just very like observant and pays close attention and learns well.
Right.
I thought they did a good job of establishing that.
She is a bit of a Mary Sue, but more of a Mary Sue. Because it's funny, the actress is part of the Sioux tribe.
Okay.
In the movie, she's Comanche.
Comanche, yeah.
But in real life, she's actually quite a blend of different ethnicities and heritages. Paternal grandmother was Native American of the Sioux and Lakota. Amber's paternal grandfather was of Norwegian and some English descent. Where's the Twitter mob? It's not 100%. So some English descent, surname Mid-Thunder, which actually, that sounds like a Native American name, Mid-Thunder.
Yeah.
Because, they use all the nature names in there. Which originates in Bergen, Hordaland, Norway, was originally Mid-Thun.
Oh.
Amber's mother was born in Bangkok, Thailand.
Oh, my God.
Of European and Chinese ancestry. So, a lot of stuff. But, you can't get away with casting non-Native Americans in Native American roles, or non-anything in non-anything roles.
For a movie like this, I mean, that's a part of the whole concept of
that
the movie.
That movie was on the other day called The 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas.
Oh, yeah.
And he plays an Arab.
I am Ahmed ibn Fahlan, ibn al-Abbas, ibn Rashid,
Speaking of falling asleep during movies, I think I fell asleep seeing that in the theater when it came out.
Did you?
I'm pretty sure I didn't. I've never seen the whole movie.
Yeah, I saw that, and it's like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, now it's still a thing that's happening.
I've gotten Charlton Heston
there was an
to play a
announcement.
Mexican.
I'm supposed to do a thriller at Universal, but they want Charlton Heston to play a Mexican.
There's an announcement that what's his stupid face? Oz the Great and Powerful. James Franco was going to play. Who is he playing? Castro or something? Is that right? Was that the announcement?
Fidel Castro?
Yes.
James Franco?
Yeah. And he got called out by people. Like, I was just shocked that he was still getting offered roles and things.
That's such a weird casting choice.
Yeah.
We're treading in some choppy waters here, Jay. But it's good to work out these things and talk about them because, you know, I think like playing a stereotype or playing another ethnicity or doing some kind of role that could be like mocking, you know, like that's of course offensive. But when it comes down to like really like kind of simple changes, like an actor has to act. You can shut.
So
off
what you're
the
saying
movie.
is you would have preferred if this movie had John Wayne in brown face.
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted Hannah Montana to play a Native American. Right.
See, that's the compromise when I was talking about having the Comanche dub available. It's like, well, we know we have to make this available, but we're going to half-ass it and just do a dub. When I would have loved this movie if it was completely shot in Comanche with subtitles, but I can understand from a studio perspective why they didn't do that.
Sure.
But it was
Lots of
distracting to hear
extra
people
work, yeah.
not just speaking English, but sounding kind of like modern English even. It kind of took me out of the movie. Luckily, there's not. It's not very dialogue
didn't
during
speak
the movie.
English, which was nice.
Yeah,
It was a little confusing when the one Frenchman who knew Comanche, he's like, I learned Comanche, and he's
then they
talking
speak English.
in English. The thing is, though, in the very beginning of the movie, they open it with she speaks a couple lines in, I assume Comanche.
Yeah.
It's like a poem or something, and then it continues on in English, and it's like, I knew you have to do something like that. You can't just have the whole movie be in English and not address it.
Yeah.
It's like Hunt for Red October. Remember that? Alec Baldwin plays super secret spy agent Jack Ryan as a spy on a Russian sub. Sean Connery and all of his officers are in the mess hall and they're all speaking Russian. And the first like maybe 10, 15 minutes is subtitled. They're all Russian.
Собралик на место, называемое по-еврейски Armageddon. And the seventh angel poured forth his bowl into the air, and a voice cried out from heaven, saying...
And then they do like a camera move, and then it very kind of subtly transitions into English, and then the camera comes back out.
It's almost like now you're hearing it from
It's like-
their perspective.
Pretend in your mind they're speaking Russian. That's what you have to do. And they did that in this a little bit. Could have done it a little closer to how they did it in Red October. But
Yeah, but again, when I say like the movie, I'm picturing like a grittier version of this, like 16 millimeter, actual practical blood,
Yeah.
people speaking actual Comanche.
yeah, real blood would have been nice. A couple of real animal shots would have helped.
Yeah. It would have been less comical when the predator punched the bear. I was happy there wasn't a bunch of dumb subplots. It was so straightforward.
Yes.
It was like, what, 100 minutes? Maybe 90 with credits. It was very simple. Woman wants to prove herself, and then she proves herself.
Yes.
Boom. This is their story. This is the predator.
Yes. And I think for the most part, it had, 98% Rotten Tomatoes score, right? And then in the 80s, I love my reviews. And
I don't even pay attention to reviews half the time anymore.
And you know, there's a wee bit of interjection of politics into this because they're like, well, it's feminist propaganda, and you know, I noted a couple of those, which I'll of course read to you. But
Well, it's like basic storytelling. You have to have a character overcome obstacles. That's what stories are.
I know, and no one like okay, but let me find something here.
Okay.
for real quick. I did most of my my stuff from Rotten Tomatoes, but I found this.
That's where you get the cream of the crop of
Yes.
bad reviews.
I found this on IMDb. Throw in 110 pounds of skinny girl power versus all of nature and alien predators and see how the movie really turns out. Only let's remove the laws of physics, pretend physiology doesn't exist, make her a Navy SEAL, and now we see if the audience is impressed. Still have doubts? Let's introduce evil, dumb French trappers to really prove her moral high ground in case anyone has any doubts. I really don't know why the story had to be told this way. The original Predator made mincemeat out of an elite squad of mercenaries who literally went into the jungle with enough ammo to wipe out a small city. These are aliens who have the intelligence and machinery to travel through space and time. We expect a young girl in the 1700s to outmaneuver, outsmart, and defeat an alien who is 8 feet tall and 300 pounds. She can learn to use a hand musket just from taking mental notes. And she can craft booby traps with a flint axe. She can also understand alien technology in half of a day. I guess if we are to believe in a predator alien, then we must also believe that this Supergirl can exist in her time as well. The first Predator was awesome. This falls in the same pile of sequels that should have never been made. The angle of the feminists, it's now they're taking away our precious male heroes and replacing like that's all nonsense to me. There's some sort of valid points in this, but if you were to look at this, because I've made jokes about the feminist hero,
like the strong female
flipping
character.
and exploding things, and this to be devil's advocate here, this kind of falls into that a little bit. Because some of the stuff she does is a little bit over the top, and I have a way to rework it. Which would have made me happy, but I'm still very happy with the movie. But no one complains when Tom Cruise is flipping off a motorcycle and jumping on a helicopter and exploding. Or Bruce Willis in the Die Hard movies, the sequels, is doing crazy things, throwing cars and whatever. No one really complains when it's a man doing it, but
and like I said, that's her whole character is she's able to
training.
She's able to be very observant and figure out how this shit works.
She's good,
which is what makes her a unique character, which is why she's the protagonist.
Yes, you want your protagonist, and she goes through her struggles.
I was surprised early on when they're telling her to like go back to the tribe, and they just kind of beat the shit out of her, like her own tribe. They're just beating her up. I was a little surprised they went. I assumed it was going to be so much more clean than that, and she was just going to be Superwoman. So
she
gets caught in quicksand at one point. She gets caught by the trappers, the French guys.
Her culture is hunter-gatherer, Native American. Men go out and do the things, and the women stay back and cook and tend to the wounded. And she wants to break that mold, and she wants to be a warrior. She practices with her axe. They go on the hunt for the lion. A lion has dragged off one of their own. They go to find him, and she does have an encounter with the lion, but fails. And her older brother is the one who defeats the lion and brings it back to the camp. And that's a perfect, like, bam, knock down that protagonist a little.
This is what she's trying to do. She doesn't succeed. I hope later in the story she succeeds.
So she can get up and be stronger again.
Mostly
good reviews. 1-star review. Where is the man fight? Not girl fight. This is Dreamgirls.
Dreamgirls? Isn't that a movie about like a musical act? It just has girls in the title, so he used it?
Well, I think the translation means like this is a fantasy. Like this girl can really do this.
He should have thought that comment through a little bit more because it wasn't very clear what he was trying to say.
Yeah, right. Here's a 1/2 star.
Okay.
This film simply tries to destroy what has been established in the franchise, which is probably the goal the director had. The Predator.
I'm going to assume the director just said, hey, you know what we haven't seen in a Predator movie before?
Yes.
A female protagonist. That we haven't seen something set in the past. That everything kind of fits into place.
The Predator is ridiculous. He always seems harmless. The protagonist is the classic, quote, Mary Sue. Her arc is not convincing at all. I'll give him credit. Arc was spelled right.
He didn't spell it A-R-K?
No. 1/2 star. Girl power. Exactly what a Predator movie didn't need. Political pandering to feminists took precedent over creating good cinema. C-I-N-E-M.
Oh.
Cinnamon.
I could see great cinema in this.
Cinnamons.
Cinema.
Cinnamon.
Took precedent over creating good cinema. And it shows in every scene where implausible girl power is rubbed in your face to score PC points with the matriarchy.
I hate the world that we live in.
Yeah. So that seems to be, considering you got 89% audience rating, it's a very minority of people that think that the film was made specifically as a feminist propaganda piece, which I think it's just a little twist on the genre, but is our girl female character a little too powerful when compared to male action stars who are also too powerful, whatever. And she never really sure, she's 110 pounds and doesn't have the strength of a man, but the strength of a man couldn't defeat a predator. The strength of a fucking bear couldn't defeat a predator, so it doesn't matter.
That's what makes the predator scary.
Because she doesn't go on in a physical, like, there's no arm wrestling scene.
No.
She
has to use her wits.
She's using wits, and she's attacking from afar, and she's using traps and blah, 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 blah. Did Schwarzenegger ever, like, get in a fist fight with the predator? No.
He sets up a bunch of traps. And he still almost
fails. You gotta stay far away from the predator.
Yeah.
And the girl knows that, and she's got the little axe with the rope that flies back. And
they established that earlier.
It's a little like cartoonish how efficient it works, but if I were to add a layer, a plot layer, I was really happy with. You go back to the 1700s, right? What do? Like, they added in all these different set pieces and scenes that nothing dragged.
There was an escalation to the action scenes.
Yes.
If I had a complaint, not to get too off track, and it's not really off track, it's that the first half, like I said, it's very similar to the original movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we've seen the Predator before, so it's hard to make him mysterious. I guess you're trying to do it from the perspective of the characters, but like we know where this is all going. So the first half drags a little bit because of that, because it's just like,
I guess
we know what's
we're not discovering the predator for the first time.
Unlike the first movie where it's like, what the fuck is this thing in the woods?
But we're kind of watching it through the eyes of a Native American in the 1700s.
Yeah,
like
that's the more
like,
her reaction to the technology that it's using was interesting.
Yeah.
More so than just where we see like its silhouette in the distance and it's walking. It's like it's a predator. We know it's a predator.
It's not as creepy as the first movie.
Right.
But what are you gonna do?
That's why I say where it's like the first half. It's very similar to the structure and pacing of the original.
But they balance that out with her character establishment, the establishment of how the tribe works, the mother, the use of the herbs to heal. I mean, there's lots of little things in this movie that all kind of add up.
Yeah.
Because there's parallel scenes. There's really nice parallel scenes. The predator sees the rabbit being hunted by the wolf, and and the movie's called Prey, not Predator, which is clever. And the predator's watching, and he realizes that the wolf is the bad guy. And so
he understands the dynamic of...
Yes. And later on, she uses that to her advantage when she kills the fur trapper who's threatening her with a gun. She's like, he's not going to kill me. And then there's a cool shot where she steps aside as the predator walks past her, because she knows she's the prey.
Yeah.
He's the fur trapper guy's the predator. She kind of figures out why he's there and what he's doing.
And that's what I've always liked about the Predator as a movie monster. That's what makes him different than like the aliens or
rules.
Something. Yeah,
he's not there just to kill everything.
Right.
He's there to hunt big game, and then if things are a threat to him, he'll take them out. But there's parallels, like the rabbit and the wolf, and then there's a scene where she's healing herself with herbs, and then it cuts to him healing himself with his own medicine. So they're similar in nature.
Yeah.
But I like the quicksand scene. That was a nice setup for later on. And that was a fake out, because I'm like, oh, she's gonna get sucked down in that quicksand, and the mud. It was like a mud pit, and she comes out, and then the predator's gonna show up. and not see
Not
her.
see her like like Arnold in the
Didn't
first
happen.
movie. That's true.
Next scene, she's washed herself off, and then the brother, who she's in competition with, she fights the lion and gets knocked unconscious and wakes up in the teepee, and she's like, "What happened?" And then it cuts to the brother, and he's walking back with the lion head, the carcass. He's like, "I killed the lion that threatened our camp. I'm the alpha male of this tribe," and I thought that it was going to come out later that it was really the predator that killed the lion, and that the brother was like, "I'm taking this carcass home, and I'm gonna pretend like I did it, and he's a fraud."
Yeah.
And then she overtakes the brother. He fucking lied about the lion. He's a fake. He's a scaredy cat. He ran away. He ran away when he saw the predator killing the lion, and then he pretended to. I was like, nope. So she really had to prove her worth, and the brother really was a quality character because he sacrificed himself at the end.
Yeah.
Spoilers. But instead of her being what is some complaints from people is that her gender and weight and physical ability seems far undermatched to the predator. The predator has outmatched her.
Yeah.
People thinking that's super unrealistic, despite it being a movie. It would have been, I think, neater if she was, usurped the male authority in the village and said, yes, my brother has been leading you, but he is a fraud, and you can trust me. Come on, Comanches, all 50 of you. I'm going to lead you into battle as
a whole group of people taking on the predator.
and you, and you. You're going to tie ropes over here. And then a bunch of them get killed, of course, because it's battle. But she proves her worth other than just being physically adept. She's also learns to be socially adept in maybe taking on more of the patriarchal role in the village, and that would have been a better girl power moment, where it's like I always make fun of girl power as being purely physical.
Yeah.
What's Angelina Jolie flipping backwards as trains explode underneath her, like that.
Which there's a few moments of in this when she's
There's
flipping
a lot
around.
of that in this, and that to me isn't girl power. Girl power comes more from intelligence and wit.
Which she does have in this,
in
so.
addition to physicality.
Yeah.
She's using it, but it could have been oomphed a little bit more because they're talking about their social structure a lot in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like you gotta
true.
grain the bread, or you gotta make the bread and the thing, and
You got to get in the kitchen and make me a sandwich.
you got to make the sandwiches for the warriors that go out and do the real work. You're just a lady, and you can't do that kind of stuff. But then she proves that she can lead the tribe into battle, and that I think would have satiated the guys, the basement dwelling incel.
Spoilers, it wouldn't have. That would have made it worse.
Oh,
now she
dang.
thinks she can. The woman's taking over the man's leadership role.
I mean, I get it.
Woke.
I'm not pro-woke or anti-woke. I'm neither.
I just think it's gotten out of control.
I
There
don't
was
care.
before the new Jurassic World movie came out. Like the first promotional image for it was Chris Pratt standing next to Black Lady, and it was just an image of two people standing there.
Yeah, they're standing there
and
like-
people were woke. It's like it's just a black woman existing. It's just a photo. What are we doing?
To be honest, if the Man's Man Predator movie was the 2018 Predator movie, which was like diarrhea on the screen, I'll take this over that any day.
Hey, Baxley, if your mom's vagina were a video game, it'd be rated E for everyone.
I'm sure the girl might not be able to do a backflip midair and put a hatchet in the head of a predator. But
It's more fun to watch than whoever that fucking guy was in the Predator.
Oh, God.
Our little Jacob Tremblay with his Predator mask on Halloween. Remember that?
where autism is a superpower. Or whatever the fuck happened in that movie.
But this movie ruined the integrity of the Predator franchise.
Right. I was like, all the
Well,
crazy
even like going back to
ideas-
the macho-ness, because that's the whole thing with the first movie. That image of Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger, giving each other a high five or whatever. That's like the meme from that movie. But that's what that movie is about. Like even the machoist of macho men are not enough to take on the Predator. So we've seen that. And then even and I liked, a lot of people didn't, but I liked Predators, the Robert Rodriguez produced one.
Yeah.
It's
That's with Brody?
Adrian Brody.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It's not bad.
It was a good concept, like scummy criminals.
Yeah,
like
dropped onto an alien planet.
Throw them on an alien planet.
But even Adrian Brody, he's a pretty scrawny dude, but they tried to buff him up for that movie a little bit. But then, they're all like scummy criminal characters. And I like the scene where the Predator fights a samurai in the cornfield or whatever. Not a cornfield, but like a wheat field.
Yeah.
But again, that one again is lots of vulgar, manly men.
Man, if we ever make it home, I'm gonna do so much fucking cocaine. I'm gonna rape so many fine bitches.
So it's like, okay, we've seen all this before. The Predator, same thing. It's like, yeah, you want to make a movie with a little Native American lady fighting a predator? Like, fine.
I have a soft spot in my heart for schlock. and time traveling predator. I mean, not even time traveling. It's just they were around back then.
Takes place in the past.
Yeah, I'll be happy if we have another Predator movie, Predator versus King Arthur's court. King Arthur.
They think the Predator is it's like Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
He's come from the sky.
He's come from
to protect us, and then it just murders everybody.
Yeah, knights in, with the swords fighting the Predator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's what this movie took that little bit from the end of Predator 2 when they give Danny Glover the gun, and you're like, oh shit, they've been coming here for a long time. It's like, hey, what if we expanded that into a movie? Boom.
Sure.
Simple, works, is in continuity with the other movies. Not tons of pointless nods and references to the other movies. There's one line that they took from the first one.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
But that's fine because that's like the most perfect line that's ever been written for a movie.
Yeah.
And it makes complete logical sense in the 1700s or modern times.
Sure.
So I was okay with that one little nod.
I think at the end she's like, "Come on now, do it."
A little bit. I thought it was really awkward when she says, "Get to the chopper," because it's like that didn't make any sense in the context of the story.
There's a guy who chops wood to build log cabins.
Is that? Yeah. I think they did that in The Predator. They said, "Get to the chopper." Yeah. It's like, stop it.
Stop it.
Just stop it. Shut up.
Everything okay back there?
I want what would be a great era? The Napoleonic Wars. I just want to see a Predator fight an army. Well, the American Civil War would be kind of fun.
Oh yeah. Would it be the two sides of the Civil War have to team up to fight the Predator? They have to put their differences aside.
Oh, yeah. Now we're talking like what ifs kind of things where it doesn't historically. Like this could happen.
That's when you get Quentin Tarantino involved. We're gonna rewrite history.
Although like small scale like this. Like all these, some incident somewhere, forgot history, forgot it.
Yeah. That's kind of like there's a movie in the 80s called Zone Troopers. It took place during World War II, and American soldiers meet an alien.
What's he saying? Maybe that he's a soldier from outer space.
Oh.
And it's just a small scale little thing about these random troops that are off on a mission that they get into a skirmish with an alien. So it's not about the bigger World War II stuff happening. It's just this small little story with these characters.
I'd be all down for that.
Maybe at some point the Predator could fight aliens. That sounds like it'd be pretty awesome.
What, like E.T.'s? Spielberg's E.T.?
Sure.
E.T. will throw like a speak and spell at it. And then just in 2
He'd
seconds.
put a bunch of Reese's Pieces on the ground and make the Predator slip in them.
There you go.
Like Home Alone.
Another
There you go. Predator fighting E.T. in a house in the suburbs, like Home Alone.
Yes,
But
yes.
you replace Macaulay Culkin with an E.T.
Yeah, E.T.'s Home Alone.
I made my family disappear.
Oh man, I just pictured the shot. The heat seeking, and it pans along all the stuffed animals, and it sees E.T.'s face with the heat signature hiding next to the Cabbage Patch Kids. But E.T. has the ability to fly.
Oh. And he's got his magic finger.
And he's got a magic finger that can heal. So he has some advantages.
Maybe that's why the Predator's after him. They want to harness his healing technology.
Yes.
Depending on when it takes place, because they have that technology, the Predators. So this would have to be like a prequel.
That's your Spielbergian ending when the Predator is like mortally wounded and like gushing out like fluorescent green blood.
Yeah.
And E.T. comes in and uses his finger to heal the Predator.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Predator gets up and like respects E.T. And they both get on their spaceships, like their respective spaceships.
That are in the middle of the street in this suburban neighborhood.
And Elliot comes home. You have a de-aged. you bring out what's his name?
Henry Thomas.
Henry Thomas, and you de-age him to a 12-year-old. It looks really fucking awful. It looks like young Colin Robinson in the current season of What We Do in the Shadows. Henry Thomas gets on the bike with E.T. and they fly.
This gigantic Predator ship is directly behind.
The Predator will have like some kind of device that flies him around.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be new.
Oh, so not like their full spaceship.
No, it'll be like a hovercraft kind of thing that he stands on.
Like that thing He-Man has in the Masters of the Universe movie?
There you go, yeah. And he's like shooting lasers at them. And E.T.'s like little hood gets blown off. We gotta make it to the 80s shopping mall, E.T. We'll lose him in Spencer's Gifts.
So you have a whole Blues Brothers chase scene throughout the mall.
Yeah.
With the Predator.
They land in the mall and Elliot's pedaling the bike and cutting around the corner. And then the Predator's like flying through the mall, like smashing through stores. Elliot's bike, the tires will fall off.
Okay.
And the bike will collapse. And they'll roll through the doors into a roller rink that's attached to the mall. And they'll start running through the crowd of roller rink people. And the Predator will land and jump off his thing. And step in, and I'll see them going around the roller rink. And then his feet will form wheels.
Like they come out of the bottom of his boots or something?
Maybe yeah. And you play some kind of like roller rink song. ABBA's Dancing Queen. And he's just trying to like follow them. He's just on a mission to get them.
Yeah.
Maybe they have something that he needs.
Sure.
So that explains why he doesn't slaughter everyone in the roller rink. Predator versus E.T., the movie. I like it.
Predator Phone Home. That's the name of the movie.
Because he's trapped.
Yes.
I like it, Jay. So, Jay, would you recommend Prey?
Yeah, it's all right.
It was all right. Check it out. It's on Hulu. It's free.
Yeah.
Cheers, Jay. Nice to have a cold beer after a long movie discussion, huh? Ugh.
Oh, beer now tastes like the sweat of Irish people.
Yeah, I don't think I could drink this stuff anymore.
Ugh. You know, Mike, I think that Glembiza is rapidly aging us. More than life does.
You might be right, Jay. In fact, I think that was Mr. Plinkett that called us. Why does he suddenly sound so youthful and chipper?
Those Gen Zers. They want their VCRs fixed so they can watch their stupid VHS tapes again. They don't have money, but what they do have is Adderall. Lots and lots of Adderall. Oh God, I got so much energy. God. Oh boy, I feel like I'm 58 again. I must be high.
Hold on, Adderall, motherfucker! Yeah! Oh, I got my Adderall. Was Jen's ears, but now it's my Adderall. Yeah! Fuck it!